Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We got another heartbreaker on our hands. Just when we thought that we had it in the bag, the unfortunate reared its ugly head once again. If you guys thought that last week was heartbreaking, this one hurts even more. It was a divisional game. I mean, it was nice to be happy and excited for just a little bit. I don't really know how to describe it. I haven't processed anything, but please make sure you guys get comfortable because it is going to be one hell of a ride.
Every touchdown scored, our spirits ignite. Let's celebrate our boys into the night. When the whistle blows, it's all about the day. Through the highs and lows, we'll never feel shame. This is our house. Hear the fans scream, up your ceiling. Got the heat. Broncos bring the fire. Can't accept defeat. If you don't like it, then mark your feelings. We're a family united. No matter the feeling, and Broncos country will always stand high.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Buck Your Feelings post-game show. My name is Adan Diaz, and I know it's kind of weird seeing me by myself here, but somebody had to be here and kind of let things out. I just have to remember that this isn't one of my other shows, and, not do any of the stuff that Johnny tells me not to do. Just a quick refresher for you guys. If you could please show your support by subbing to us here on the Orange and Blue Network. Always well appreciated. Subscribe, share, comment, and like on this and all the videos that we have here on the network. I mean, this game, it was a real roller coaster. Okay, if you guys follow me on Twitter, I try to put up every 3 bulletins at the half, and just when it looked like the Broncos were going to run away with this game. They had a lead, but they couldn't keep it. And that, again, has reared its ugly head in for this team. Why Sean Payton did not go for it on 4th and 1 is beyond me. Okay. He was okay with going to Sutton on a 3rd, which I don't have an issue for. I haven't seen the playback, but it did look like Sutton kind of slowed down because I think he was trying to get the ball or something, but it didn't work. And against divisional opponents, you have to roll the dice. Now, the fact that 3 different wide receivers, well, except for the one with Mims, that ball didn't technically hit him in the hands. It was just slightly overthrown. But the first one off his fingertips and the one that Sutton dropped off his fingertips are definitely going to be the talk of the highlights this week, and not for the good reasons. The defense, again, they bent, and I was hoping they didn't break, but Hufanga, that spinning, come on, man. It's basic NFL 101. You don't do that, man. You just don't. You gave them extra life with that. Yes, they had the conversion, but you gave them extra unnecessary yards with that. Because, hey, who knows? Without those 15 yards, maybe Herbert doesn't, throw it into the end zone and hope somebody catches it. Doesn't pull some BS like that. There were so many mistakes in this game. I don't even know where to start. I know you're going to hear me ramble and say a couple of them. I'm going to try to get through the comments as quick as I can. Blitz be repping coming in and saying Sean Payton needs to go. His play calls don't work. I don't think it's his play calls. I think it's the execution for them. Wide receiver screens, I don't have anything against them, but you kind of have to read the defense type of thing. They don't always freaking work. And just because you keep using them does not mean it's going to keep working. You know what I'm saying? And that to me, it just like it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Dingleberry Dev coming in saying can't blame the refs for Bo Nix not being accurate. I mean, I don't get it. Like in that play just before the half, he hit Cortland Sutton in stride. So if you can do it once, you got to be able to do that multiple times. I mean, this is why you practice. And it wasn't like Sutton was in coverage. He beat the coverage. He was by himself. So it wasn't like he was trying to draw a flag for pass interference. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. And again, Vance Joseph, listen, I know we've said it on the show this past week. Libre and I, we were really worried about the linebacker core. And it reared its ugly head in again today. But that last drive, the fact that you gave Hampton that much freaking space to run in the middle, and Herbert didn't even try to go deep because I think maybe like one time he tried to go to Johnston, but it didn't work. But the fact that Herbert was targeting the middle and he was connecting, he connected with Keenan Allen and he connected with Hampton, and I forget the name of the other. I think he's a tight end. I don't know. But the fact that he was able to connect in the middle really, really was angering. Again, PS2 with the tackling early on in the very start of the game, like, come on, you got to tackle your opponent, take him down. Don't just shove him, especially if if they blew the whistle. Okay, I get it. But you had like 4 or 5 Broncos there. How do you not all gang up and tackle the player? Like, it doesn't make sense. We're back to the, Vance Joseph questionable defensive play calling. It just doesn't make sense for me. But the thing that really is pissing me off is seeing Bo Nix run for it. He didn't get the conversion. Okay, the measurement said he didn't get it, and not going for it. Like, yes, I get it. Trust your defense and all that good stuff. But this is Justin Herbert we're talking about. You should have went and got it. It didn't have to be some cute flea flicker type of stuff. They gotta work on these 4th and down plays, 4th and 1, because as good as our defense can be, it's not where it needs to be. Okay, I know we all had high expectations going into the offseason with Hufanga and Greenlaw and Jahdae Barron, but Jahdae Barron's still trying to find his ground. He hasn't found it yet. Greenlaw went on IR. So now that the Broncos are 1-2, they definitely need to start making some phone calls. They need linebacker help, because if not, for the next 4 freaking weeks, we could be sitting here looking and feeling just as bad as we did. I'm telling you, I don't know why, but this hurts even more than last week's loss. We lost by a field goal, and we lost by a field goal again. Probably because it's the Chargers, and now the Chargers are literally in first place, and they're dominating the division. But there were, again, the penalties. Also, the penalties were terrible today. We haven't heard Garrett Bowles' name in a long time, and that put them out of the running. Let's see. Blitz Run saying, I swear people wake up. The O-line is trash. Make some phone calls and get rid of Sean Payton. Blitz, I think you're overreacting. I wouldn't say get rid of Sean Payton. I would basically say go back to the drawing board, because what you're doing is not working. You're literally losing. You lost 2 games by mere inches. And your offense needs to be able to put up more than 20 points. Okay, if you look at some of the games today, I know some of the higher, like not even close games, like the Colts and Titans, and currently the Seahawks and the Saints, those are blowouts. Those are different. Titans and Saints are trash, but you definitely need to go back to the well, because what you're doing, these screens and the runs, they're not working. RJ Harvey has literally been neutralized at the point of attack. Shout out to J.K. Dobbins. He has really been the difference maker, and I will eat crow on that because I was really skeptical about him coming into his role in Denver. I thought he was going to play behind RJ Harvey at one point. I thought RJ was going to have a terrific preseason, and probably give somebody like Genty a run for his money. But Genty and the Raiders, they're a whole different problem and issue. But in this one, what you cannot do in the defense, the front line finally got home. They had 5 sacks. They sacked Justin Herbert 5 times. And that was with a backup guard and tackle. And you mean to tell me that they still somehow walk away and win that game? Like, that is unbelievable. I thought McConkey was definitely a problem, but he wasn't the problem. I wasn't expecting Keenan Allen to get a touchdown in this game. I really wasn't. But the fact that Justin Herbert threw it from his back foot and he just barely beat who was in coverage. I think it was it Jade or McMillan? It was one of those guys. They tried, but you just can't do that. Now the rematch later on in the season is definitely going to be interesting because the Chargers are going to come into Denver, and the Chargers are beat up. They may have won the war or the battle, but they did not go out unscathed. Their offensive line is beat up. Najee Harris looks like he's done for the season. That was a really gruesome injury he had out there. So they're going to roll out with Hampton, and they're probably going to pick up another running back either through their practice squad or through the waiver wire. I don't know if they're going to trade for one, but it just sucks. It really does suck because we were really hoping to win this game so that way we can go into next week's game with momentum, and yes, the Broncos next week are going to play the Bengals, and the Bengals today, they got shellacked by the Vikings. But the thing that kind of takes away from it, I know the Broncos are going to beat the Bengals. I know they are, but it would have been so much better if they would have walked in there 2-1 instead of 1-2. And now they're sitting, the second or third place right now, depending on what happens with the Chiefs later on in Sunday Night Football. But Dingleberry also comes in. Is Sean Payton even calling the plays, or is it your offensive coordinator? I would be after the offensive coordinator if I was a Denver fan, not Payton. I honestly can't answer that for you because I don't know. I can only speculate and tell you that I think it's Sean Payton, but I don't know how much the offensive coordinator has a say. Those wide receiver screens that we see, I feel like that's all Sean Payton, and that's like that cutesy stuff. That's why I said in my halftime check marks, it's like, do that when you have a promising lead and you can afford that, but not when you're trying to. Like, it's crazy. The Broncos had the ball going into the second half. They scored, and then they get a muffed, not a muff, but they get the ball back on a hit. And yes, they were able to put up points, but 7 points would have definitely gone a whole lot farther than 3. But at least Will Lutz was able to get 3. Again, the Mims drop off of his fingertips, and the same thing with Sutton. Those are going to be the plays that every single Broncos podcast, if they haven't done so already, you guys are going to be hearing a lot of going into next week's game. The accuracy by Bo Nix definitely had to be there in both of those. I don't remember off the top of my head if he was pressured on that Mims throw, but in that Courtland Sutton throw, it didn't seem to me like the pocket was collapsing. It looked like he had plenty of time. But again, people were saying that Courtland Sutton looked like he slowed down when he didn't have to. If he would have kept running in stride, he probably would have caught that ball. And even if he doesn't get in the end zone, that would have been enough to make the Chargers sweat and make them use their timeouts. But again, the linebackers, Sternad and Singleton, another day where they just got beat, man. They got beat. The Chargers losing their best running back. I would say their best running back. You would think that they would limit the damage that Hampton would do. That fake jet sweep, got to give it to them, man. They had me fooled because I definitely thought they went the other way. At least I think it was a fake jet sweep. And Hampton damn near just went in untouched. So, and it sucks because Hampton against the Raiders looked terrible last week. And against the Broncos, he looked like he was it's just, I don't know. Like I couldn't even imagine what the press conference is going on right now. Who's the blaming the finger. Dingleberry says Khalil Mack was out too, and they still put up a lot of pressure. Yeah, our tackle again, McGlinchey. I cannot wait for that guy to be gone out of Denver because that guy is such a liability. Garrett Bowles, I don't have an issue with Bowles. Bowles has done a good job. Yes, he got a flag today, but it's not like before when he first started, when it was like, dang, he got like 3 or 4 damn near every game. So it definitely could have been out there. Shout out to Derwin James. That guy was everywhere he needed to be. He was a ball hawk. The good thing is that at least Bo Nix did not put the ball in danger in terms of, turnover like he did last week, because that turnover against Indy, that was terrible and heartbreaking and was really unnecessary. And then the Broncos defense finally got a return, got an interception off of the Quentin Johnston play. And they weren't able to do a lot with it. So far, I feel like the Broncos have punted the ball more through 3 games than they've actually scored points, if that makes any sense. So shout out to Crenshaw, honorable mention. That guy definitely was able to punt the ball and keep it as far away as he could from the end zone. And again, ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Cooper and Zach Gallen, and again, JFM, you gotta cool your temper, bro. Like, especially if you're trying to work out a contract and you want to stay on this team next year, that's not the way to do it. They were still laundry. Again, the Hufanga play was definitely unnecessary, totally not needed. But I don't know. Like, there's a lot that needs to be cleaned up going into next week's game. Again, I don't think I'm not worried about the Bengals, but losing 2 games back to back by field goals it's heartbreaking. And the thing that kills me is we are going to see a crack in Broncos country in terms of the divide. I already started seeing it on social media before I went live of people saying Bo Nix is trash. You got somebody already saying that Sean Payton needs to be fired, that he's garbage. So I get it. Everybody wants somebody to blame, but it's really hard to do that right now. And it's really hard to do it with this team because if it's not like 2022, all right? Because in 2022, when the Broncos were at their absolute worst, you could spin a bottle and no matter what player it pointed to, everybody had a fault in it. Biggest one being Russell Wilson and that idiot Nathaniel Hackett. But this one, the turnaround since Sean Payton came in and brought Bo Nix and brought, I don't want to say brought, but helped bring with the help of George Payton and the owners. They got a Nick Bonito signing. They got a Zach Gallen sign. They got Cortland Sutton signed. They bought Hufanga. Greenlaw is definitely going to be in talks for the next couple of weeks in terms of, I said it the other day on Broncos Talk, hopefully he's not, that the Broncos didn't buy fool's gold. But that's what it's starting to be like. I did see an exaggeration where somebody compared the Greenlaw signing to when they got Randy Gregory from the Cowboys, the pass rusher. But those are totally 2 different instances, not even closely related. Randy Gregory still played, but he played like garbage. If Dre Greenlaw was healthy right now, I guarantee you that the Broncos had a better chance of winning against the Titans, not that close, definitely winning against Indianapolis last week, and definitely winning against the Chargers today. And it really hurts. It hurts that the Chargers were more beat up offensively on the side of the ball and I'm going to say it all freaking week. They were more beat up on the offensive side of the ball. Half of their offensive line were backups. Their running back number 1 goes down. Justin Herbert gets sacked 5 freaking times, and they still lose. Like, and I still, if you ask me which side of the ball shares the most of the blame, I'm going to say the offense, because too many times the offense punts the ball away and they put the defense out there, especially when they know and we know and everybody outside with football knowledge knows that right now the biggest weakness in Denver's defense is their linebacker core. And again, unless the Broncos go and do something where they go and trade for another running back, linebacker, or they got to do something, because again, Singleton and Sternad, they weren't as big of a liability as they were last week with Jonathan Taylor, but they definitely got beat at the point of attack this week when it should have been with the defense clamped down on Hampton and kept them from marching down the field and keeping them all. That's all they had to do. They just had to prevent and force overtime and take the chances into overtime, but they couldn't even do that. And that's the part that hurts the most. And you know what kills me is I guarantee you, I can't remember who the Chargers play next week, but they're going to go into that game. They're going to go in there limping into that game and watch them just lose. And everybody is going to be saying in Broncos country, that should have been Denver. That's how Denver should have played them. Again, give my credit where credit is due. Congratulations to the Chargers. You guys won at home, and it is what it is. But this battle is definitely not over. But before we get anywhere going, I think it's time we give out some game balls. And can Johnny make some great transitions or what? I'm telling you. I think I probably already gave the game balls out during my rant, but I'm going to say, in case I did, I'm going to say J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins definitely gets a game ball offensively, because he definitely, I mean, if you saw that catch, that he didn't drop it, he was able to tiptoe literally into the end zone. And he just needed to be where now he didn't have the day that we expected him to have in terms of, running the ball and whatnot. But again, that's just our offensive line not opening up the gaps like they should on some of these screens. Also, on some of those screens, if you watch, some of our linemen were not going and getting their blocks. They were missing them damn near completely. So when you miss your block as a lineman, you're literally just putting up whoever has the ball up for failure. And in one of those plays, I think it was RJ Harvey. I don't know why the defender fell down, and I don't know why our Broncos player didn't just jump over him, and he literally just crashes down into him and takes the loss of yards. And I'm just sitting there like, why would you? Like, it was so frustrating seeing that play. Honorable mention, I'm going to say Courtland Sutton, because he did have the opening touchdown for the Broncos into the second half, and it literally took away the momentum from the Chargers, and they were starting to sweat. Okay, especially since Denver had the ball at the start of the second half. The Broncos marched down the field. Dobbins scores a touchdown. And like I said, the Broncos get the ball back after they forced the fumble. Special teams did, but unfortunately they weren't able to put up more points, and they had to settle for field goals. Now, even if the Broncos didn't score touchdowns, if they would have at least put themselves where Will Lutz could have put field goals up, that would have been great. But instead of having Lutz out there, they had to have Crawshaw out there to punt the ball. And that definitely needs to be addressed going forward. We cannot keep punting the ball more than the offense scoring touchdowns or Will Lutz putting up field goals. That cannot keep happening. Okay, because that guy's leg probably did more work than some of our offense did in most of that game. And I was gonna give a game ball to Hufanga, but again, after that spin around and slam on Keenan Allen, like you don't do that. I know that's gonna rub me the wrong way, especially when I see it on social media later on. But you just don't do that, man. You don't. Like, yes, I get it. You're frustrated that Keenan Allen got the first down, but you don't make it worse. You see what I'm saying? And that I hope Vance Joseph lays into him in practice tomorrow, or when they go back and look at the tape. And to be honest with you, I think that's I want to give one to Bo Nix. Okay, I want to give one to Bo Nix just for the simple fact that he tried. Okay, he literally tried, and he was fingertips away from getting one to Mims, and he was fingertips away from getting one to Cortland Sutton again on that 3rd and 10. So the Broncos, that's how close the Broncos lost this game, by a fingertip. The ball literally just going into the fingers and doing what it is. So there's still a lot of things to clean up. The laundry wasn't as packed as it was last game, but I still feel like it came in at the worst times for both sides of the ball. And both the offense has just got to go back to the drawing board. And those plays that they made, they have to connect. They honestly have to connect. Troy Franklin, I know he had a well, it got called back because he had offensive pass interference, but that was a catch he should have made even before the flag went out there. It hit him right in the hands. So just when I thought he was making strides, it looks like he kind of maybe regressed a little bit. But he had a touchdown last week, and of course, when I put him in my parlay this week, it goes to Corley instead. Oh man, but to take as we get close to the end here, just basically to take in an ending, it's just basically the Broncos need to learn how to win these types of games, these divisional games, because these are the losses that are really, really going to hurt you down the line. Because now the Chargers have won not just over us, but over the Raiders and the Chiefs as well until their second matchup to see how low go. But the only way to pass up the Chargers now is for the Broncos to have a better record than them and hope it doesn't have to come down to the tiebreakers, the head-to-heads, because obviously the Chargers are going to have one over us. So it sucks because this continues their streak over Denver. And I feel like the better team didn't win today, at least on paper. The better team that should have won didn't win because they committed too many fouls. And the passes that needed to be made, that I'm pretty sure they've made in practice like 100 times, didn't connect. And Sean Payton, the coaching, both defensively and head coachingly, not going for it on 4th and down was vicious. It was definitely vicious. I thought we saw Sean Payton challenging almost everything out of the sun week 1, and he couldn't challenge that at least. I don't care if he would have lost. At least he tried. But it just get ready, Broncos country, because we're going to hear a lot from Chargers fans the next couple of days in terms of them running their mouth. But I don't know. I have to collect my thoughts. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Orange and Blue Network. Share, comment, and like on this. If there's anything I heard that you heard me say that you agree or don't disagree with, let us know down in the comments, and make sure you guys hit that live notification button so you get live up-to-date information on all the shows here on the Orange and Blue Network. So go Raiders. After what I saw today, man, they can definitely go. They can go somewhere, but I can't say it here. Just brace yourselves, Broncos country, because it is going to be a bumpy ride the next couple of days. Make sure you guys tune in to the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast show on Tuesday, Broncos Talk on Wednesday, the Mahai Symposium. Actually, let me put up the show schedule here for you. We have the Orange and Blue Blitz Monday, Wednesday through Friday at 11. Broncos Bros Monday at 7. They're going to Fanatic Dak and them are probably going to get to cussing first before any of us do. Again, Nothing Rhymes with on Tuesday. The Mahai Symposium on Wednesdays. Broncos Talk on Wednesdays. Viva los Broncos, where we can actually cuss in Spanish because nobody understands us. Fridays at 6. For any breaking news, we have the Fresh Squeeze that airs. And again, before every game day, we have the Get Buck pregame show. And then after every game day, like you're watching right now, is the Buck Your Feelings postgame show. And please keep in mind that these times that I've stated are all in Mountain Time. So keep your head up, Broncos country. We're going to be all right. There's just a lot of crap we got to still keep working and get out of the way. But if we can get through last week with our heads up high, we can do it again this week. Just remember, the Bengals are coming to town next week. And if you watch some of the highlights from their game today, I think some smiles and some Victory Mondays are Victory Tuesday in that case, are definitely on their way home to Denver. So keep your prides up, keep those flags waving, and I will see you all next time. Have a good one. Go Broncos.